Guys, I just want to show my desktop. I'm testing the overclock on it right now. I'll kind of explain. You gotta listen, obviously, because I always do my videos like this. I'll kind of explain how I did it, and then yeah, what I learned. All I've overclocked before is like my phone and stuff, because it's like built into the OS, like CyanogenMod. You could just overclock in the settings. But this one I actually had to go in the BIOS and do the overclock. And yeah, so I'm running right now. I'm running 1304. Ubuntu 1304. I searched for Linux overclocking. I couldn't find much, but this is the article you want if you have Sandy or Ivy Bridge. So Sandy Bridge and Ivy Bridge Linux overclocking guide, and it links you to 3 programs. I didn't have to compile any of these on Linux 64-bit. You want to get mprime, which is going to be used for benchmarking, for stress testing. You want to use i7z, which is going to show your clocks. And then you want to get sensors, which shows your temps, but then that's just a command line tool. So after you get sensors, it's actually the package is called lm-sensors, so just sudo apt-get install that. Then you want to get this one, GKRELLM. I recommend just going to linux.org. You'll find the Sandy Bridge, Ivy Bridge overclocking guide. It's super easy. If you have a good processor for like a K-series processor, you have your Z68 or Z77 motherboard, and you have a good CPU cooler, everything should just run perfectly. So basically, here's the specs of my system. I have a 3570K. I have a Z68 motherboard. The reason I got that was I didn't really need all the features that Z77 had, so I figured I'd get a used board to save some money. So I got a Z68. I got it for 35 bucks. It's an Asus. I really recommend Asus. They have really good BIOSes, and Gigabyte's pretty decent too. And MSI was free. So all I did was I went in there. I just changed some BIOS settings just in general, but nothing that really matters. And then today I actually tested the overclocking. So what I did was I went in there. I found the section where you can change the multiplier. It was actually, this is what was confusing. The multiplier was set as the word auto. It wasn't like a drop down. It was literally AUTO. And so all I did was I deleted that. And this kind of scared me, like, doing this, and I changed it to 40. Because I knew the multiplier is multiplied by the base clock, which is about 100. You can see right here the base clock is actually about 100.2 something megahertz. So I just changed that to 40 to test, and then I backed out of that, and then I pressed F10 to save. And then I booted up, and I ran this, and I can see from here, from this program, that the multiplier is set that. So let me go over what this guide says. The guide says to get the 3 programs. Let me show them running. All you do is you get them, you make them executable. You get mprime, make it executable. Get i7z, make it executable. You have to run i7z as root, and then get the sensors, and then the GKRELLM, and that will allow you to see the temperature real time. So here is mprime running. You just run this, and it will basically peg your processor. Here is i7z running. You can see, bam, you can see this is the multiplier, 44. That's the base clock right there. And then this is the processor states. So normally, it's pretty much always at C6, which is like, it's like suspending pretty much, and just letting one of the processors run to keep your computer running. But now when you run something, it's pretty much 100% at C0, because it's trying to go like full blast doing the multiplication and stuff. So yeah, this program will show you your clock. So obviously, yeah, I'm at 44 multiplier. Yeah, that's what I set it at. Now this is just the GKRELM. You have to go into the settings and like enable or disable stuff. So after you get sensors, you can just easily add the temperature stuff. Let me see if I can get the lighting right. So all I did in here was I disabled everything except for the CPU percentages, which is how hard the CPU is processing. I'm not exactly sure how that's actually measured. And then let me see if you can read that. Those are the temps. The ones you are interested in is core 0, 1, 2, and 3. You can say they're, oh shoot, they're around 80, almost 90. Yeah, so it's pretty high. It's a really hot day, so that's probably safe. Though you probably don't want to go over 90. Like once you hit 90, that's pretty high for Ivy Bridge. So yeah, you want to watch that, make sure it doesn't get too high. And whoa, trying to keep the light from falling over here. Okay, bam. Yeah, so just use this guide. You get those 3 programs, run them, People always say run it for hours. I've never actually overclocked the desktop, so I wouldn't know. So I'm gonna run it for like at least 2 or 3 hours, and just see if everything's fine. I'll just use my desktop as normal, and see if anything crashes. I'm probably gonna stick to 4.4 to a multiplier of 44. I didn't mess with the V-core, though. If you want to go higher, you can mess with the voltages. Those are the two things you probably want to mess with: is increase the voltages and increase the clocks. But I want to kind of not waste energy and get it too hot, so I'm just going to keep the voltages at the auto setting. So, yeah, that's basically it. Let me see if there's anything else interesting I can show here. Yeah, so the reasons you would want to overclock the Linux box, obviously if you're going to be doing some gaming now that they have Left 4 Dead. I don't have a GPU right now, so I'm just using the integrated one, so I'll probably get one eventually to play some games, but I don't have much time to play games. So, yeah, so if you're going to do gaming, it'll be helpful. Other things you want to do if you're compiling stuff. Like, I run a virtual machine, and then I compile in there. Like, I run FreeBSD. I compile in the virtual machine. So it's really pegging, like, 1 or 2 cores. So you want to have the highest clocks you can in those cores so that you really aren't wasting your time. So if you're doing that, then it is helpful to have more CPU on Linux. Other things are... so my home partition is encrypted, so when you install Ubuntu, it asks you, do you want to encrypt your home partition? I said yes, and what that does is it means anytime it's writing or reading from your home, like not home partition. I'm actually just doing a home folder. Anytime it's writing or reading your home folder, it has to encrypt it, which is taking CPU time. So you want to have as much CPU as you can, because it'll help with your disk speeds. And I have a fast SSD. I have a Samsung 840. Not the Pro version, but it's still pretty darn fast. SATA 3. So you don't want your CPU to be the limiting factor. So those are reasons you would want to overclock. So this is overclocking on Linux. Those are 3 programs you want to use. Use this article. It's pretty darn easy. And then make sure you stress test it for a couple hours. And get a good CPU cooler. I think mine is the Cooler Master, like the $20 one that has like a 120mm fan on there. Some people go water cooling, but mine was like $20 when it was on sale. So I figured I might as well get that. And put some good thermal paste on there, and you should be good to go. Just put something in the comments if you have any questions. This was pretty darn easy. I've never overclocked a desktop, and just changed like one setting and it works. So yeah, just put something in the comments if you have any questions. Alright, see you guys.